This
We are
conference will
walking
now
through,
be recorded.
today we are walking through one of our most loved itineraries, Mingle with Scandinavians, a small group journey through Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Whether your suitcase is packed or you're just curled up in your favorite armchair, get ready to virtually travel with us through the heart of Scandinavia. My name is Elle Taylor, and I'm your Nordic Experience Specialist here at SilverOpus. And Scandinavia isn't just part of my job, it's a personal passion. In high school, I spent summers at Norwegian language immersion camp. In college, I added Scandinavian studies as an additional major, just for fun, and even attended the University of Oslo in Norway. And that top left photo, that's the exact bench in Stockholm where my husband proposed to me 12 years ago. So, yes, my connections run deep, and I'm delighted to share this region with you today. At SilverOpus, we specialize in thoughtfully designed small group travel for curious, discerning travelers over 50. Our groups are intentionally small, never more than 14 guests, which allows for real connection, thoughtful pacing, and immersive, meaningful experiences. We blend iconic destinations with lesser known gems. We go beyond the tourist trail and partner with local experts who truly love where they live. Our seasoned tour directors and local guides are more than knowledgeable. They're natural storytellers and compassionate hosts, making sure that you feel welcome, engaged, and supported throughout. Our hotels, meals, transport, just the daily rhythm, all of it is chosen with care to create a journey that feels immersive, comfortable, and inspiring. While today we're focused on Scandinavia, our small group tours also explore Switzerland, the United Kingdom, Iceland, soon Brazil. However, today it's all about fjords, fika, and fresh air. So, with that, let's talk about Scandinavia. So, this region refers to Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. It's full of natural beauty, vibrant cities, deep cultural roots. I'm often asked, what's the best way to travel through Scandinavia? How long should I go for? Can I see all the capitals, Copenhagen, Oslo, and Stockholm, without spending half my time in the airport? Great questions. The reality is, Scandinavia is big. Just Norway and Sweden together cover an area 9% larger than Texas. That's over 289,000 square miles. And that's not even counting Denmark or Finland or Iceland, but those are for another webinar. Not to mention, we have different currencies, languages, and a whole lot of incredible landscapes between the major cities. So planning a trip here can get complicated rather quickly. And that's exactly where we come in. We've crafted a smart, scenic, and seamless journey where you can travel like a local, not a tourist. So, in our small group tour, Mingle with Scandinavians, you'll get the iconic cities. You'll see Copenhagen, Oslo, and Stockholm, which are essential for a first time visitor. But you'll also detour to places like Aarhus, Denmark's artsy second city, Balestrand, a fjordside village in Norway, which just gives you a more textured, authentic experience. You'll explore over the course of 15 days, so you won't feel rushed. You won't be bouncing between airports. Instead, we've perfected a route using trains, ferries, and scenic drives that let you actually see the region, not just fly over it. And you'll see what daily life is really like and get a chance to actually mingle with the locals. So let's begin. First of all, we're going to arrive in Stockholm for the first 3 days. This is Sweden's capital, the largest capital city in Scandinavia. Most likely you'll arrive at the Stockholm Arlanda airport and then head over to our hotel, which is located in the quiet island of Skeppsholmen, which, by the way, if you remember that bench and waterfront view of the old town where my husband proposed, this is actually steps away from your hotel. Very, very scenic. Over the next 3 nights, we'll get to know Stockholm, a city that's spread across 14 islands and connected by 57 bridges. It's often called the Venice of the North, though you'll find Nordic design and clean-lined architecture instead of gondolas. After settling in, we'll gather for a welcome dinner as a fun and relaxing evening to meet your fellow travelers and toast to the adventure ahead. On our first full day together in Stockholm, we're going to dive into Stockholm's rich past. We'll start with a walking tour going through the cobbled alleyways of Gamla Stan, or the city's medieval old town, with stops to see the royal palace and the colorful merchant houses along the way. Then we'll visit one of Scandinavia's most awe-inspiring museums, the Vasa Museum. The Vasa is a 17th century warship that famously sank just minutes into its maiden voyage and sat underwater for 333 years before being recovered. It's remarkably intact and really an incredible window into Sweden's maritime past. The rest of the afternoon then is yours to explore, maybe stroll the waterfront, shop for Swedish glass and textiles, visit the ABBA or Nobel Museum, or just enjoy the city's cafe culture. Which, speaking of cafes, you'll definitely want to experience fika, a beloved Swedish tradition. Fika is more than just a coffee break. It's a moment to slow down, share a sweet treat like a cinnamon bun or a cardamom cake, and connect with others. You'll find cozy cafes and parks all over the city where you can enjoy this little ritual during your free time. On day 3, after breakfast, and yes, you can have cinnamon buns for breakfast too, not just at fika, we'll take a scenic cruise to the island of Lindigo, which is located about 6 miles northeast of Stockholm. This island is home to the world's largest cross-country race, but don't worry, we won't be doing any running here. Instead, we'll have a leisurely tour to explore the lush island and dive into Sweden's Viking heritage. We'll explore Viking burial sites, rune stones such as those shown here, and back in the city, we'll visit the Historical Museum's Viking exhibit. Now, during our cruise, you'll get an even better understanding of the Stockholm archipelago, which is made up of over 30,000 islands, stretching 50 miles east into the Baltic Sea. These islands vary from lively homes to fishing cottages to untouched wilderness. It's a really nice glimpse into tranquil, slow-paced lifestyle that the Swedes retreat to, especially on weekends and holidays. All right, then we are trading our archipelagos for canals as we travel by train to Denmark. The ride takes about 5.5 hours and crosses the Øresund Bridge, which is a really impressive piece of engineering that connects Sweden to Denmark. It's a relaxing and scenic ride. You'll see the countryside, passing through Sweden's forests, farmlands, and lakes. Once in Copenhagen, we'll settle into our hotel and enjoy a group dinner. Our hotel for the next 3 nights is 71 Nyhavn, which was once a warehouse in the 1800s and really has this understated warmth and charm. You'll see exposed pine beams throughout the hotel, and it's really located at the best address. Really an amazing location at the end of the colorful new harbor, Nyhavn, making it a really easy place to explore from in your free time. So our first full day in Copenhagen, we will have a walking tour into more of Copenhagen's historic heart. We're going to see the colorful row houses along the Nyhavn New Harbor area, walk past the Amalienborg Palace, meet the famous Little Mermaid statue, which actually was a gift to the city from the brewer Carl Jacobsen, and his dad is the founder of Carlsberg Brewery. This afternoon, we'll enjoy another SilverOpus signature experience with a canal cruise. And this sailing is led by a local captain who will share personal favorite spots for coffee or quiet escapes, really giving you an authentic glimpse into daily life in the city. On this cruise, you'll explore up and coming neighborhoods where old industrial buildings are being reimagined into modern, livable spaces. Many of these with really striking architecture by well-known and emerging Danish designers. You'll get this locals take on the city by, cruising through parts of the harbor that most visitors miss and hear different stories about the city's past, present, quirky details that you really would never get from a guidebook. It's a laid back, social cruise where you're not just sightseeing, you're connecting with the city through a local's lens. The next day, day 6, is all yours to enjoy. You will have a Copenhagen card, so you'll have access to museums and public transportation. So during your day, you can choose to spend it as you wish. If you want to visit the famous Tivoli Gardens, which inspired Walt Disney to create Disney World, visit the Danish crown jewels at Rosenborg Castle, or if you're feeling more active, even explore the city by bike. Food lovers, you might enjoy trying a traditional smørrebrød, a Danish open-faced sandwich that's shown pictured here in the center with different toppings, or even visiting one of the local food markets for some local treats. Or maybe you'd rather just simply sit by the harbor with a locally brewed Carlsberg beer and take in the vibe of the city. All right, from Copenhagen, we are going to hop onto another scenic train. This time we are heading west to Aarhus, Denmark's artsy second city, located in Jutland. Jutland is the large peninsula of Denmark, connecting the country to Germany. This part almost looks like a mitten when you're looking at a map of Denmark. Aarhus is about 3 hours, so not too far for us to travel. It blends a lot of youthful energy, it has deep Viking roots, and has just become a cultural and innovative hotspot in recent years. So here we will enjoy dinner together tonight, and then spend the next 2 nights at a design hotel located in the heart of the city. On day 8, we will start a full day tour from our hotel by first walking through the city, from the Latin Quarter to the bold architecture of the Art Museum. And yes, this one you may have seen glimpses of with the rainbow-colored skywalk, to even visiting a Romanesque St. Clement's Cathedral that was built in 1201. There's a lot to take in. And after resting our feet and enjoying a lunch break, we'll take about an hour ride northwest to Viborg, one of Denmark's oldest cities. And if there's no services taking place, we'll visit inside of the Viborg Cathedral, which is shown there on the right with the 2 towers. We'll learn a little bit more about why the city was so important in Viking times. That is called the Holy Mountain, hence the name we call it today, Viborg translation. And no, it's not because it's physically located on a mountain. By day's end, you'll have seen 2 sides of Danish culture. So one rooted more in history and the other bursting with modern creativity. On day 9, we have a day of transitions and new chapters as we say goodbye to Denmark. We make our way to Aalborg, where we'll enjoy a guided city walk through medieval streets and see sights like Jernbane's house and Limfjord waterfront. Then we're going to head to the Hirtshals, where we board the overnight ferry to Norway. Now, this isn't just transportation, it is part of the adventure. Your ferry is a modern 10-deck ship which carries approximately 1,500 passengers and 600 cars. So it's a comfortable, scenic journey. You'll have cabins to spend the night in. There's dining, cafes, tax-free shops. You'll find a lot of locals here stocking up, especially on alcohol, to take advantage of the huge tax-free savings. An observation lounge, which also usually has live music or some sort of entertainment in the evenings. So you can grab a glass of wine or a cup of coffee and enjoy the fresh sea air on the deck and watch the sunset over the North Sea, as tomorrow we wake up in Norway. So after a scenic cruise along the Norwegian coast this morning, we arrive in Bergen, Norway's second largest city and often called the gateway to the fjords. Nestled between 7 mountains and the sea, we'll spend 2 nights at the luxurious Opus 16 hotel. And Bergen was once part of the Hanseatic League, a powerful network of trading cities. So that legacy is still visible, especially here shown in Bryggen, the colorful wooden wharf that's now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's definitely one of the most iconic views in all of Norway. A lot of postcards of this scene. There are warehouses that date back to the 14th century. And today, these house boutiques, workshops, cafes, restaurants. It's really an excellent spot to purchase a traditional Norwegian sweater if you are looking for one. On day 11, this is our full day here in Bergen to explore. So we're going to start out with a walking tour of the city. Then we are going to ride the Fløibanen funicular up to Mount Fløyen, one of the city's most beloved viewpoints. The views over Bergen's harbor and rooftops are just simply stunning from my photo on the right. And yes, there are goats at the top. Bergen's famous mountain goats roam freely and are friendly for photo ops here. This is Ferdinand, or maybe it was Spot, posing with my mom almost 1 year ago today, actually. There's also a great ice cream shop and a scenic restaurant here at the top. And speaking of food, Bergen has a vibrant fish market right on the harbor, part seafood stand, part open air kitchen, really just part of a cultural experience. You have to take a walk through it. And one must-try dish is the Bergen fish soup. It's creamy, light, filled with chunks of cod, shrimp, sometimes salmon, and root veggies. Locals take a lot of pride in it, and for good reason. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Norway's favorite fast food, the hot dog, or as they say, pølse. There's a popular stand in Bergen where you can see from my picture locals lining up to have everything from bratwurst to wild game sausages. In this photo, that's my reindeer sausage. It's topped with fried onions, mustard, and lingonberry jam. No ketchup is needed. All right, so now on day 12, we are truly heading into postcard territory. Norway is famous for its fjords, narrow inlets of seawater surrounded by towering cliffs. These dramatic waterways were carved by the glaciers and today create some of the most spectacular scenery in Europe. With over 1,700 fjords to explore, why not visit the fjord nicknamed the King of Fjords, the Sognefjord? This is the longest and deepest fjord, extending 127 miles inland and reaching a depth of 4,291 feet. So we will depart from Bergen on a ferry to cruise the Sognefjord to Balestrand. And this ferry, it's pictured in the distance on the right-hand side. It's much smaller than we arrived to Bergen on. This one does not have any overnight cabins, car parking, cars for that matter, or tax-free shopping. So we can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the views here. In Balestrand, we're going to add a little zip to the day with a rib boat tour. So these are rigid inflatable boats. They are fast but safe, designed for up-close fjord adventures. Is it scary? No, not at all. It's thrilling in the best way, and the views are unforgettable. You just feel so tiny when you are looking up at these dramatic mountain and cliff edges. Afterward, we'll visit a local cider farm because this area is actually famous for its apple orchards, and the cider is crisp, small batch. It's just delicious. So we'll meet the growers, hear their family stories, taste a few different varieties of cider, all while, of course, surrounded by these incredible views. And speaking of views, I'm going to take a moment here to pause and talk about our hotels because here at SilverOpus, we don't see hotels as just places to sleep. They're an essential part of your experience. So whether it's a historic hotel on a quiet island in Stockholm or a design-forward boutique in Aarhus, we choose places that reflect the local culture and charm. And one of our stars is the Kviknes Hotel in Balestrand. This is a Swiss-style grand hotel that has been welcoming guests since the 18th century, and it just won the award for World's Best Historic Resort. So we are so excited for them. And look at those views, just incredible. We will end our journey in Oslo, the capital of Norway, for 2 nights before we fly home. Oslo is hip, modern, and surrounded by nature. Pictured here is the Holmenkollen ski jump on the upper right-hand side, and the striking Oslo Opera House, where you can actually walk on the roof. And I somehow managed to time taking this picture perfectly. Not sure how that happened. And you can see that there's people that are actually diving into the fjord from these floating saunas in the harbor. It is Oslo at its coolest, literally. But wait a minute, you might be thinking, how did we get there? How did we get to Oslo from the fjord? So here's a little map of the route where we're going to leave Bergen. On the far left-hand side, there's a blue star. Take a ferry along the Sognefjord, and then take 2 trains onwards to Oslo, the star now on the far right. So to zoom in a little bit, from Bergen, we ferry to Balestrand, where we spend the night. From Balestrand, we take a short ferry to Flom, a tiny village at the fjord's end. From Flom, we board the legendary Flåmsbana Railway to Myrdal, and then transfer to the mainline train bound for Oslo. So this is a full travel day, but every minute is beautiful. The Flåm Railway is a masterpiece and is one of Norway's top attractions. It climbs nearly 3,000 feet in under 13 miles, making it one of the steepest standard gauge railway lines in the world, which is a gradient of 5.5%. And at the time it was built, this really was a feat of engineering and still absolutely is considered so. In addition, 18 of the 20 tunnels were carved by hand. And along the way, you'll pass deep ravines, scenic farms clinging to the hillsides, and even waterfalls. And a highlight of the journey is actually a short stop at Kjosfossen Waterfall, where if you're feeling adventurous, you can get off the train and take pictures closer to the falls. Just maybe pack your rain jacket or have it handy because you may get a little soaked from the spray. So really, it's not just a ride, it's a journey through these landscapes that just feel straight out of a fairy tale. All right, so after all of that travel, we'll have arrived in Oslo. And on the following day, day 14, after breakfast, we will enjoy a city tour with a visit to Vigeland Sculpture Park, which is home to over 200 larger than life sculptures by Gustav Vigeland. They tell a story about life. It's very moving, expressive, and quirky at times. It's one of my favorite places to people watch, as you'll find locals and tourists alike flocking to this park and trying to reenact the statues. So it's definitely unforgettable. One of the most famous statues is called Sinnetagen, or the Angry Little Boy. He's a crowd favorite. We'll continue our journey from there to the peninsula of Big Doy, which is filled with so many museums. You may choose to spend the rest of your afternoon exploring these. There's something for all interests here, from learning about the famous Fram expeditions to the North and South Poles, the Kon-Tiki Museum with the original wooden raft that sailed to the Pacific, and the open-air Norwegian Folk Museum with its wooden Stav Church, or Stavkirke, is not to be missed. And that evening, we'll have a final farewell dinner to school to an amazing trip. So in Norwegian, vi ses means we'll see each other, kind of implying we'll see each other again, and it's the perfect farewell. After breakfast, as our tour comes to an end, the stories, the friendships, and the memories, these all get to come home with you. But Scandinavia, in my opinion, definitely has a way of staying with you, and chances are you'll want to come back someday. So this tour really blends urban energy with quiet beauty, guided moments with time to explore independently, big sites with off the beaten path gems. You'll really truly get to experience the heart of Scandinavia, not just the highlights. So with this itinerary, we have 14 nights of carefully chosen accommodations. There's 20 incredible meals, 14 breakfasts, 6 dinners. You'll experience over 23 signature experiences, have scenic train rides, including that Flom Railway, have 24/7 support. Of course, our expert tour director is there to help you with every step, and you don't need to worry about logistics. We've taken care of the details so you can sit back, relax, and focus on the experience. So here are our 2026 departures listed, and if you book by June 30th, we are honoring our 2025 rates still. And if you're interested in traveling yet this year, please come join us on our upcoming departures, September 7th through 21st. To reserve your spot, you can simply give us a call at 800-936-2814, email us, or contact your travel advisor to reserve your place. And tusen tack, or 1,000 thank yous for joining us today. I hope this gave you a deeper sense of what makes Scandinavia and this itinerary so special. We do have a few minutes for questions. And if there's any that we don't get to live, we will reach out to you afterwards. Okay, so for some of our questions that are coming in, one of the questions is if we want to extend our trip, can you help us with extensions? Yes, certainly. That is something that we can do for you. We can help you with extending your time within Scandinavia, arranging pre and post hotels and excursions experiences with you. We can also see if you're interested in joining another back-to-back tour and have you join another one of our small group tours as well. Another question coming in is, do I need a visa? Currently, no visas are required for US citizens to enter Denmark, Norway, or Sweden. Is the weather still good in September? Yes. This is a frequently asked question I get. When is the best time to go? I'm going to say something really cheesy, but anytime you're able to is the best time. But honestly, I live in Wisconsin for a reason. I enjoy all four seasons. Summer is great for hiking, kayaking, long daylight hours. However, when we get into the fall, so September to October, you're definitely getting some of that crisp air, more vibrant foliage, and fewer crowds, which is one of my favorites. Much better for photography, maybe more wildlife spotting. Of course, you can travel in the winter. Then we're just going to be changing up with some snow-based activities, potentially northern lights. And spring, you're starting to see the flowers blooming, melting snow. Maybe you might be able to get out and do some early hikes as well. How many suitcases can I bring? Good question. As you are traveling between different cities and on trains and ferries, for this, we advise one standard checked bag and a small carry-on bag, like a backpack, to bring with you on day tours. And for example, when you are traveling from Bergen to Oslo, there's quite a few ferries and trains those 2 days. So, in that part of the itinerary, we will actually have you pack a little overnight bag to bring with your essentials. And then we will forward the rest of your luggage ahead to your hotel in Oslo. So that way, as a group, we don't need to be lugging all of that additional luggage and all those extra Norwegian sweaters that we just bought. For open time to explore on your own, yes, certainly. We have open time spread out through the itinerary. As we saw in Copenhagen, there are times where you might have an entire day. Other times, the tour is about half the day, so you have free time to explore. And that's something that we can definitely walk you through in more detail and give you some suggestions in advance, because some like to plan ahead a little bit more of what they anticipate that they think they would like to do in their free time. But of course, while you are traveling, you'll have your tour director right there to also give you more specific recommendations, as well as those local guides in the cities that you're meeting. Okay. For our tour dates, I will go back. We've got a couple of different departures. So, upcoming for 2025, we still have our September 7th through 21st. Then, moving on into 2026, we have some departures that are June, July, August, and September. And if there is a particular date that does not work for you, we can create a private group departure or a privatized experience with the local tour director, just for you and your small group or family. Speaking of family, are kids allowed on our tours is another question that I get asked frequently. We are able to, again, create a private family experience for you with young children. Our minimum tour age is 25 years old on our public tour dates. And again, we can always have the option of creating a private departure just for you as well. All right. Well, I believe those are all the questions that we have time for. If there's any other questions that come through, we will get back to you, and I will send you an email, or of course, feel free to give us a call. I am more than happy to talk to you and talk your ear off about Scandinavia anytime. So I look forward to speaking with you, and my team and I look forward to working for you and helping you experience Scandinavia with us. Tusen takk alle sammen. Thousand thank you, everyone.